What is going on, guys? Today, aka the random recorder here. So today, I'm gonna be deriving the quadratic formula. Now, I was approached by a couple of kids at school because I'm just that popular about if I could do a small live stream about how to derive the quadratic formula. It only takes about, maximum if you're going really slow, and that's fine for everyone. It'll take about 2 minutes, maybe max. So basically, we're going to start with y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. That's the most common form of quadratics. You're going to see that most of the times in algebra and algebra 2. So when we're factoring, we're actually going to start out with 0. So 0 equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Now, our next step, because what we're going to be doing is actually a method of factoring called completing the square. That's how we're going to start this out. So we'll subtract c from both sides because right now we ax squared plus, it's a whole mess and I'll explain that in a sec. But basically, we're going to subtract c from both sides. So you'll have negative c equals ax squared plus bx plus blank. Again, that's where we're going to add in something. Oh my god. We're going to add in something a bit later. Let me just adjust the paper a little bit. Alright. So now next we're going to factor out a. So we'll have a parentheses x squared plus b over ax plus whatever our mystery value right here will be. Let me just adjust this so you guys can see it a bit better. You guys following so far? So the first thing we did was subtracted c from both sides, and then we factored out a. That's all we've done so far. And yeah, just some pretty simple stuff. So I'll adjust the camera angle a bit, just to make it look a bit better. Now, the next thing that we're going to go ahead and do is figure out what goes here. Now, for completing the square, what you're going to have to do is do the b value over 2 squared. So you can see here that our b value is b over a. So we'll take b over a times 1/2, because, again, it's divided by 2. That is b over 2a. Starting to look familiar? B over 2a squared. You could just multiply b over 2a and then do that, but you can really just, this is b squared and then, 4a squared. So our final value here is, sorry, misread that. It'll be a crispy b squared over 4a squared. Now, when it comes to completing the square, there's a big step that you make sure you don't want to forget, and that is whatever you add here, you have to add to the other side. So we're going to add, now you might be tempted to add b squared over 4a squared, but because we factored out an a earlier, that's not actually an equal value. So we'll take b squared over 4a squared and multiply it by a. You'll get b squared a, sorry about that, over 4a squared, because again, it's just a over 1. Now, with this, there's actually something that I was messing up on earlier, and that's why I was having trouble with this, and I'm sure a lot of other people do. So when you see we have this a squared and then the a, it'll actually cancel out, so you'll get b squared, and then you'll get a to the negative 1, which will just transfer down to the bottom, so you'll get b over 4a. So, finally, here you have negative c plus b over 4a equals a parentheses x squared plus b over a x plus b squared over 4a squared. Got all that? All right. Now, here's what we're going to do. So, I keep messing that up. I keep dropping the tripod because I'm not really working with the best equipment. I messed up. What do you mean, Parm? I actually messed up on live stream. That's going to be sus. Okay, Parm, what did I mess up with? It's B2? Where? Oh, right. Sorry, I forgot to write b squared there. You're right. But we'll subtract that from both sides. And actually, no, we'll add that to both sides. So we'll have negative c plus b squared over 4a. You're right. I messed up. I'm sorry. And, yeah. So this is what we're working with right now. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is try to put this over a common denominator. So we'll multiply negative c by 4a over 4a. That'll give us our common denominator and allow us to add these together. So 4a times negative c is just negative 4ac. And then you have over 4a plus b over 4a equals a x squared plus b over ax plus b squared over 4a squared. I'm sorry, this is just, it's really complicated, and I know a lot of people have trouble with this. So you're going to have here, just leave it like this for the time being. We're going to do something with it later, just in a sec. Now that we have this, we're actually going to just go ahead and finish the factoring on this. So it'll be a x squared, and so x squared plus, that'd be wrong. X plus b over 2a squared. A quick tip, by the way, when you're looking at what to put in here when you're factoring, it's just this. When you take 1/2 of the b value, that is going to be it, because you're going to end up square rooting the c value, so that'll just get you that. So back to here. Now, and then all of that equals negative 4ac over 4a plus b over 4a. And then, so we're just going to put this over one common denominator. So 4a equals a x squared 2a squared. Next, we're going to divide both sides by a. I'm sorry, I know you guys can see it. Let me fix that. Here, shift the paper up. Oops, sorry, I keep on forgetting to write b squared. Sorry. Yes, I got you now, Mom. So let me scoop this up just a little bit. Yep. So we're almost there, guys. Hopefully you guys have been following along. And so we're going to divide both sides by a. That will help us isolate our x value, which if you've seen the quadratic formula, you'll know that it all equals to x. So that's where we're going to go. Now, our next step, again, is pretty basic. So b squared minus 4ac over 4a squared. Because, again, when you're dividing it by a, it'll just go to 4a squared. Then it'll equal x squared plus b over 2a squared. And then we're just going to go ahead and square root both sides. So, now that we're here, we'll just put this over one big square root. If you've seen the quadratic formula, obviously you know that's how it's going to be written. And then square root of 4a squared is just 2a. Again, pretty basic. Equals x squared plus b over 2a. Then, sorry, it does not. I keep messing up my square. It's so annoying. I know. So, that'll just be x plus b over 2a. Then we'll just subtract b over 2a from both sides, and then we're basically done. So we'll have negative b over 2a plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a equals x. And then we're just going to put that all over one common denominator. So it'll be negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a equals x. And that is the quadratic formula. I want you guys to do a little challenge with this video. Try to get a Fortnite win for every variable I say in this video. So basically, yeah. And again, it's a pretty simple thing, so I'll just go over a quick recap. So we'll subtract c from both sides, and then we'll just go through completing the square, and that'll get us to this step. Then you're going to do basic isolating the variable and getting it over one common denominator. So we'll divide by a, then again square root both sides, then subtract and put it over one common denominator, and then there you go. That's going to be how you're going to solve the quadratic formula. If you guys need more help with this, totally let me know in the comments. I'll be trying to answer questions and everything like that. Now, I would recommend going through this route and writing every single step every time. That's mainly just because... Thanks, guys. That means a lot. But I recommend going through every step one at a time, and that's mainly just because it's a long process, and it can be pretty difficult. So just take your time to make sure you can do it right until you have it memorized, and then again, you can just do it really fast. Or, I mean, you don't have to do it fast, but you get the idea. So, yeah, if you enjoyed the live stream, totally let me know and write me a comment or a question that you have or any kind of thing that you might be struggling in at school that you guys want me to see, that you guys want to see in a video later. And, yeah, that's going to wrap it up. So, goodbye, guys. The Random Recorder. Did I just say the Random Recorder? The Random Recorder. Peace out.